yesterday we have discussed it till this not this one. So desktop daily notes JSL December. Yeah. Okay. In the last class we have discussed this. What are the line commands? What are the line commands that are there in the JCL? How to write code and all we have discussed, and how to save the code, how to cancel it whenever you want to save. Okay, it will recover the code till the last save. Okay, and how to scroll up, how to scroll down, what are the scrolling types that are there, and how to get the sequential number, caps on and caps off. Okay, and then we have discussed on this what is JCL. We have discussed how to where we need to code and how to allocate a PS, PDS. We have discussed all this, and then we came with this JCL. How to create a PDS. After that, how to create a member in that. Okay, and what is the structure of the JCL? In the first two columns will be there for a double backslash. Third column will be an optional one, which is a comment line. If you give star, it will be a comment line. Even the third to 10 columns, so the next 8 characters will be a job name or step name or a DD statement name. DD statement name. This. Okay, and 11th one will be space. After writing the name, there will be one reserved space. After that, reserved for operation, again space, and then we will be giving operands. 72nd column will be used for continuation. 73 to 80 will be left for sequence number. Okay, and then we have discussed on what is job card. What is job card we have discussed, and how to write a job card. We are on the in the middle of how to write a job card. Okay, so first we have written, if you see it in the last class, we have written a job card, a single line job card. We have written 3.4 enter JCL demos. Yeah. So hi JCL. Whenever you open the code, okay, whenever you open the code and the code is in different format, like it is not in the colored format, whatever you're expecting, just give hi JCL, highlight text, which is means highlight text, hi JCL. Let me delete all this. Just give me a moment. Yeah, sorry about it. Okay, let's begin this once again. Yeah, like I have said, this is the job card we have written. This is the job card we have written. Whenever we are writing the job card, okay, so the first will be the double backslash. Since it is a JCL, every line will be starting with the double backslash. After that, we'll be writing this mainframe ID. We'll be writing the mainframe ID. After that, we'll be giving a character. If you ignore the mainframe ID or if you don't write the character, it will throw you an error. After that is space. Like I said, there will be a space. Again, you should write the, since it is a job card, every job, whatever you take, first line should be the not only first line, but first ignoring the comment lines, the first few lines should be the job card. It should say that what is the job card, like what you are going to do, what it has to perform, what is the definition of this job card. Everything will be there in this job card. After that, you will be giving the positional parameters, 2 positional parameters. You can, it's optional. If you want to ignore the positional parameters, you can just give the commas for it. After that, what we will do, we will give the keyword parameters. These all are keyword parameters. There are multiple keyword parameters. The first keyword parameter is class parameter and the message class parameter. Okay, these two are important. Whenever you are giving, these two are important. Like whenever you are giving the class and whenever you are writing the keyword parameters, only these two are mandatory. Remaining all are, you can just give. If you want to get the priority, if you want to change the priority level, okay, you can change the priority level. And this notify parameter is better to use. Okay, so whenever you are executing the job, to know immediately. So for example, if I don't give this notify parameter and I just submit this one, and if I submit this code, the code will be submitted, the job will be submitted, but you won't be getting any notification here. You won't be getting any notification here. So to get the notification, we will be giving notify parameter. We'll be giving the notify parameter equals to, either you can give it as sysuid ampersand sysuid, or let me give caps on. Yeah. So whenever you give it, whenever you give this notification, notify equals to ampersand sysuid, whoever going to submit this job, if I am going to submit the job, I will be getting notified. Okay. Okay. If I submits this job, I will be getting notified. If some other person submits my job, he will be getting notified. Okay. Like that, for whomever you want to get it notified, if the whoever the user who is going to submit the job, to make them notified, you can use this ampersand sysuid, or else you can give another like your id itself. Okay. Or else your id or some other mainframe id, you can give it tsoxa13. I'll just say tsoxa13, so that I will get notified. I will get notified. Even though if I give ampersand sysuid, since I am submitting the job, I'll be getting notified. Or else if I just give my mainframe id, then also I'll be getting notified. Okay. So I can give other mainframe IDs also here. So if you want to get notified, like other person, if you want other person to get notified, he will be getting notified. So let us submit this one. So previously we didn't give this notify parameter. So now if we give this parameter and submit, we will be getting this error. Okay, we will be getting this notification. This is called notification. Okay, the job, this is the job id, it has been created. This is the job id, it has been created. It was submitted by me at the job name. Okay, and that there is a JCL error, it is saying. This is the notification. This is about the notification parameter. Okay, next come to this. Today we'll discuss on IEFBR 14. Coming to today's topics. Data 25th December 22. So today we'll be discussing about IEFBR 14. IEFBR 14. What is this IEFBR 14? What is this? So this is a utility. There are multiple utilities. Like I said in the previous class, we'll be discussing on multiple utilities, right? Example, execute multiple utilities like IEB general, IEB copy, IEFBR 14. So this will be the first utility that we'll be discussing in mainframe, in JCL. Okay, this is the first utility we'll be discussing on JCL. So what does this mean? IEFBR 14. What does it utility does? Okay, what is this utility? Utility does. So what? So if you want to, for example, if you want to create a PS file, how we are going to create? How we will be creating a PS file? Sai Kumar?
By going to the 3.2 option.
3.2 option will go, and then we'll give the allocate symbol, and then we'll give
Yeah, and then give the dataset name.
Name will give. After that, we'll give the parameters, like all the parameters, right?
Yes.
So to make it, to create a PS using a utility, we can do it by utility. Okay, to create the PS manually, this is done by manually. To do it by the code, to create a PS file using by writing code. To create a file by writing code can be achieved by IEFBR 14 utility. IEFBR 14 utility. Okay, this can be achieved by writing code. This can be achieved by writing the IEFBR 14 utility. So how to write this IEFBR 14 utility? Let us see this syntax. Okay, so whenever you are going to write the job, okay, whenever you are going to write the job code, after that you will be writing some steps. Okay, what is this steps? The steps will be executing one each, like it will be having some procedure. Okay, every step we'll be writing whatever the, see for example, in Java code or anything, like if you want to perform an addition, okay, if you want to perform an addition, what we will do, we'll write a code into main like that. If it is a if it is a C, well, let us give it C. In a C programming language, what we will do, we'll say that int main equals to int main of, we'll say int a equals to 20, b equals to 40. We'll say like this. Okay, we'll say like this, and we'll say sum equals to into sum equals to 20 plus 20 plus 4, like, sorry, a plus b, will say a plus b, and then we'll display the sum. Printf open bracket close bracket percentage d sum, will say like this. Will give, right, for a normal, if you want to write if I want to write a addition, if you want to do some operation, if you want to do some calculation or something in C language, we'll write it in this way. Okay, so to perform, what is this job does, in the same way, if you want to write some perform, if you want to write some perform action, if you want to perform some action, or if you want to perform some code, we'll be writing in steps. Okay, we'll be writing in steps. Okay, that steps will be written in first. If any step will be starting with the execute parameter, every step will be having an execute parameter. Okay, that steps, whatever the perform, whatever the action that you want to do. Okay, the action or procedure you want to perform, that needs to be performed, that needs to be executed, will be written in a step, with the execute parameter. Okay, they will be written with execute parameter. What is this execute parameter? So like we have this execute parameter will say that there is a procedure which is going to take place. There is a program that we are going to execute it. There is a utility that we are going to execute it. So it will say that execute this utility. All it will be written in this execute parameter. Okay, like this we'll be saying that, see, now I'm saying that now I'm going to execute this program which is equals to IFBR14 utility. The step says, this is the first step. It says execute parameter. I'm going to execute a procedure, utility called IFBR14. It is saying that I'm going to execute a procedure utility called IFBR14. So whenever you're going to write a step, whenever you're going to write execute parameter, there should be a step name. Like we discussed, every line will be having first two columns as this double backslash. After that, job name 3 to 10, whether it might be job name or job ID, or it can be a step name. Okay, it can be a step name. So this is the step name. First 8 characters can be step name. After that, again a space. Okay, there will be a space. After that, again we have to say the operation here. Operation is execution operation. Okay, after that, again space, and then we'll be writing this PGM. So here what I'm saying, operand, which is nothing but I'm going to execute a IFBR14 utility. Okay, so in this IFBR14 utility, again I'm writing a DD statement. I'm giving the detailed description for this execute statement. I'm giving a detailed execution. Okay, I'm giving a detailed definition for it. So what I'm saying, that I said that IFBR14, right? For that I'm giving a multiple parameters. Let us discuss in detail. What is this IFBR14 utility? Okay, what is this IFBR14 utility? So normally, if you want to create a PS file, we'll go to the 3.2 way, we'll give allocate, name will give, parameters will give, and then we'll execute it. If you want to create a PS file by writing the code, can be achieved by IFBR14 utility. You don't have to manually go there. If you want to execute multiple PS files you want to create, what you need to do? You need to write manually. You have to, if you're having a task called 10 data sets needs to be created. 10 data sets needs to be created. So every time you have to go to the 3.2, every time you have to give the parameters, every time you have to give all the changes, and they have to execute it. So to make this job easy, we have a utility called IFBER14, which will execute. Once we execute this IFBER14 utility, it will automatically create the data set. Okay, let us see the working of this IFBER14 utility. So here I have said that I'm going to execute the PGM called IFBER14, and then data description I have given that DSN parameter. One of the first parameter is DSN parameter. In the detailed description, first in the execute parameter, we have to write the program equals to, program is nothing but IFBR14, utility name IEFBR14. Okay, coming to the next parameter, detailed description. DSN name should be given. DSN name means, what is this DSN name? So we will be giving the name for this 3.2, right? We will be giving the name there, right? So in the same way, I have to give the name. So it should be starting with your mainframe ID, high level qualifier dot, what is the name you want to give, data set. Like for example, it is a data set, you can give it, and 10, I'm giving a 10, it is name. Then I'm going to give the disposition parameter. Okay, this disposition parameter in detail we'll discuss later point, but just now we are creating a new parameter, like we are creating a new file. Okay, we are saying that it is a new one that we are going to create. After that, if the program executes perfectly, then it should be cataloged. What is this catalog and all, we'll see at later point. If the job successfully executed, then it should be cataloged. If the job successfully not executed, it should be deleted. Okay, it should be deleted. And then again here, after that comma, after that again DCP parameters will be record size. What is the record size that you want to give? Record format. What is the record format? What is the record length? Record length I want to give it as 80. Record format I want to give it as fixed block. Okay, and then the final one, block size will be 800, and then space equals to trk comma 1, since it is a PS file, I'm giving 1, 1. Okay, so this is how you will create the data set. Like these are the parameters that you have to write it. Let me show that here also manually. What are the parameters that you are giving? I'll show it here. (3.2) if you go there. So here we'll give the name, right? Here we'll give the name, and here we'll give the allocate parameter. Okay, say a, and here we'll give the data set. Okay, and here we are giving the tracks, right? That we are giving here, the tracks. And then this primary quantity and secondary quantity 20 and 10, we are giving it as primary quantity 1 and 1 we are giving. We can also give 10 and 20. We can also give 1 and 20. Okay, directory block, since it is not a directory blocks, we are not giving, since we are not creating a PDS file. So I'm not giving the PDS. I'm not giving the directory blocks. If you want to give the directory blocks, if you are going to create a PDS file, then you can give the directory blocks also. Okay, since I'm not creating a PDS, I'm giving the only the up to primary and secondary quantity. After that, fixed block 80, 800, these three. This fixed block is just record format, record length, and block size we have given. Okay, these all we have given. And since it has creating a new one, right? I'm creating a new one. I'm saying it as new. So if the job has successfully executed, okay, if the job has been successfully executed, if this job, whatever I'm writing it, if it is successfully executed, then it should be cataloged. I'll say that then only it should be there in the DS list. If it is not successfully executed, then it should automatically delete it. Okay, that is what the meaning of this one. Okay, let us submit this one. If I submit this one, enter. The job has been submitted with this job ID, with the job ID 12913. Remember this one, job ID 12913. Okay, enter. I got maxcc 0. That means we have created a PS file, right? Kumar?
Yes, Sadish.
That means the job maxcc 0 means that we have created successfully. This job has been done successfully, right? So what happens? So this might be there in our DS list. So let us go there and check. If I refresh this one, if I refresh this one, so here you can see dataset.10. So this one got executed. So the dataset is there. Okay, the dataset is there. So let us go to spool. Like there will be like if there is, for example, if I execute this once again, let me execute this once again. Can I execute this once again? If I execute this, whether it will create? If I execute, since it didn't get error, whether it will create?
No, 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 Satish.
Because it is already there.
Yes.
Because the dataset.10 is already there. So that's why if you execute it again, what will happen? It will be submitted. If I submit this job once again, it will throw me an error. Okay, it will throw me an error. Okay, JCL error. I got a JCL error. So what does this mean? How to know why? What is the mistake? How to know this? What is the mistake? Since we already know that it is already there, but what if we don't know, and what is the mistake you want to check it? How to check that mistake? Okay, then we need to go to the spool. Okay, okay, to know, to check the errors of the job, to check the errors of the job, we should go to spool. We should go to spool. How to go to spool? So come to the start menu. Come to the start menu. In the start menu, you'll be having SDSF, System Display and Search Facility. System Display and Search Facility. Go to System Display. System Display here. Okay. After that, go to System Display and Search Facility, and then again navigate to the status of the jobs. Status of the jobs. Okay. Again navigate to the status of the jobs. Give ST here. Okay. After that, you need to go to the ST. You'll be. It is known as spool. It is known as spool. This is nothing but spool. Okay, so whenever you go to spool, there will be multiple jobs. There will be multiple jobs that are there. That are there. So since first one we have executed, right? When the successful executed our job, that was with an ID. It created ID, right? So I told you to remember job 12913. 12913. This is the job. Okay, this is the job that is. Okay, this is the job that is. If you open it, you should open it with the open the job. Search the job. After coming to the spool, search the job that you executed lastly. Okay, and then open the job using question mark, by giving question mark, by giving question in front of the job. In front of the job, you need to give the question mark. In front of the job, you need to give the question mark and just give enter. So it will be displaying three jobs. It will be giving you three messages. Okay, after entering into the job, it will display three messages, spool messages further related to the job. So one is just message. Second one is just JCL. Third one is just message log. Okay, just message log. Okay, just system message, just message log, just message log, just JCL, and just system message. The system message. Okay. Okay, what is this just message log and just JCL? This just is nothing but job entry system. The full form of just is job entry system. Okay, job entry system. So what is actually happening? How these messages messages are generated? How these messages are generated and what actually happening? What actually happening in these messages? So whenever you submit a job, okay, how did we submit the job? How did we submit the job? By giving the submit option, right?
Sorry, Satish, can you repeat it again?
How did we submit the job? How did we submit the job?
Where in a JCL?
Yeah, JCL. How did we submit the job? I'm asking. Like this one submit. How did we submit? Like using submit
Yeah,
option.
we give submit option.
Yeah, submit option. So what happens when job is submitted? Okay, what happens when job is submitted? Okay, first it will be entering the input phase. Next it will be entering the conversation phase, conversion phase. Next it will be entering the execution phase. Then you'll be getting the output. You'll be getting the output. Then the job will be purged. Okay. So whatever you submit a job, whenever you submit a job, it will be entering into the input phase, conversion phase, execution phase, output phase, and purged. Okay. Now, if I submit a job using the submit command, submitting the job using submit command, okay, it will generate an ID. Whenever you submit a job, it will generate an ID. Okay, it will generate an ID. An ID, job ID, it will generate a job ID. Okay, it will generate a job ID. So what is the job ID here in this one? Here, function F9. So here for this job, the job ID is this one. The job ID is this one. Sorry, this one. The job ID is 1293. Job 12913. 12913. And who submitted the job? You have submitted the job. And the job name that you have given in the code, is TSOXA13A. That has been written here. Okay, job ID has been created like this, and this was submitted by TSOXA, your mainframe ID, and you have given the priority level 1, and the execution stage that is there. The execution state that is there is print level. Okay, the execution stage that is there is print level. Okay, now let us understand this one by one. So whenever you are submitting a job, it will be creating a job ID, and the job will be loaded into this just JC. Yes. Okay, it will be moved into a just. What does this just means? Job entry system. Okay, it will be loaded into a job entry system. So as soon as the job ID is created, it will be creating this. Just will be creating 3 messages. Just message log, just JCL it will create, just system message it will create. Okay, as soon as the job is submitted, it will create a job ID, and it will be moved into this job entry system. Okay, this job entry system will create the 3 messages, which is just message log, just JCL, and just system message. Okay, now in the first stage, input stage, this will be happening. Okay, in the input stage, this just job message, everything will be created. After the conversion phase, it will be checking for the syntax. If the syntax is correct, then only it will be going to the execution. Okay, then only it will be going to the execution that will be executed. If the syntax is wrong or anything, this execution will be skipped, and it will be moved to the output level. Okay, what is this output level? This output level will be print. This output level will be print. So you can see it here. The output level is now print. It came to the execution stage. The execution stage is print level. The execution stage is print level. First input phase, then conversion phase. Okay, then output phase, then it will be purged. These are the 5 levels that are there. First, the job will be input phase. In the input phase, it will be ID will be created. Job entry system will be creating all these messages. Okay, and the conversion phase, it will be checking for the syntax. Okay, if the syntax is good, then it will be executed. If the syntax is not good, then it will be going directly to the output stage. After that, the job will be purged. These jobs will not be existing for longer period. Okay, these jobs will not be existed for longer period. It will be executed, like it will be deleted after some time. These jobs will be deleted. Now we understood that what are the different phases that are there, and what are the messages that are created. So what exactly these 3 messages? What exactly are these 3 messages? Okay, for just message log, whenever you are going to execute a job, you have to first come to the system message. First, you need to come to, let us open the latest job. First, you need to come to the system message. Just system message. Opening, but you can open the jobs. You can open these messages using S. Okay. Open the messages. Open the messages using S. S in front of the message. In front of the messages. Okay, in front of the message, you need to give the yes, and it will be opening the messages. So now I have opened here, or I have opened the just message log. I'm opening the just message log. So what is there? You can observe here the step DD1 allocation failed due to data facility system error. Data facility system error. If you come down, not defined because dataset TSO13 dataset.10 not defined because hello.
Satish.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay, fine. So here I'm saying that, like I was saying, so if you are getting any error, you need to come to the just system log, just system message, and you need to check the error here. Okay, whenever there is an error, you need to come to the just system message, give S in front of it, and come enter. You can see the reason code. You can see the reason code that is not defined because duplicate name exists in the catalog. What if I have another error, a different error? If I remove this one, I don't give comma here. I'll not give comma here. Let me see that how whether it will work or not. Let me save it and submit this one. Submitted. I got a JCL error. Again, I'll come to spool. I will exit this one, exit this one. So I got a new job here now with the 915. I got a new job. Okay, I got a new job. Open the latest job, question mark, and open the just system message. Yes, sir. So here it is saying that there is an error in the line number 456. There is an error in the line number 456. Okay, to know this error, come out of it, go to the just system message 456, search for the 456 lines. Okay, search for the 456 lines. So it is saying that there is an error in this line. So whenever there is a line number, okay, check the line, check that line, and check before line also. Check that line and check before line also. Then you will be able to find it out. So here the comma is missing, so that you can understand that there is a missing comma. So if you go back here, go back to your code, F9, I'm using F9. I'm using F9 to swap the screens. Okay, give comma and then save it. Give comma, save it. Now submit the code again. Submit it again. Max is 0. Now go to spool F9. Open the latest job, come out of it. Open the latest job and search for this JCL. If you go there, so step was executed. Now you can see the cond code, which is maxcc. Maxcc code is 0. Step was executed. It is saying, okay. So step was executed. You don't have to come here. You just need to go to the DS list and check whether it is created or not. So if come out of it, what is the use of this just JCL? Okay, the just JCL will be having the job that you have submitted. Whatever the job that you have submitted, that code will be there here. Okay, that entire code will be there in this. Okay, coming to the just message log, it will be having the sequence of it. What is the entire data? What is the which job was executed? Step 1 was executed. How much time it has taken? When the job has been submitted? Okay, how many lines that has been written? How many print records that has been recorded? What is the punch cards? System records, punch cards. Every detail in between, how much time, execution time, everything will be there in this just system message. Just message log. Okay, just message log will be having the execution time, when the job has been submitted, all the details regarding to the just job will be having in the just message log. Okay, that is what the IFBR 14 is, and we have understood till now. We have discussed about what is the IFBR 14, what is the use of the IFBR 14, and how to navigate to the spool. How to navigate to the spool, we have checked it. Okay, this is the spool. to check the errors, to check the errors of the job. Check the errors of the job we have seen now. Okay, so now let's see the next concept. So class is done, priority is done, message class is done. Now we'll see this type run and message level. We'll see the type run and message level. What is this type run? What is this? First we'll just come with message level. Okay, so let us come to this message level. Message level is a keyword parameter in the job. Okay, it is a keyword parameter. The job card. It is a keyword parameter in the job card. So what does it do? So how we'll give it? Message level is equals to statements comma messages. Statements comma messages. We need to give this. We will be giving this message level only in the job card. We will be giving that message level only in the job card. How we will be giving it? I'll show you here. Comma MSG LEVL message level equals to 1 comma 1, like this will be giving. So there is no enough space, not enough space. Let me remove it. I'll write it in the next line. Let me write it in the next line. MSG LEVL message level equals to 1 comma 1. Let me say that message level equals to 1 comma 1. So what is this message level equals to 1 comma 1? So this will be having that 1 comma 1 is nothing but statements comma messages. Statements comma messages. So the statements will be, the statement values can be 0, 1 and 2, and the messages will be, messages value can be 0 comma 1. Okay, you can give the statements value to from 1 to 0, 1, 2. Either you can give 0, either you can give 1, or either you can give 2. Okay, these messages will be either you can give 0 or 1. These two values only you can give it. So what is this message level first? What is this message level? What is the definition for it? So it defines, this will be, it defines the, or it says, it defines, or it says how the messages, or statements should be displayed in spool. Should be displayed in spool. So see, we have seen that messages, right? So what are the spool we have seen? Whenever we submit a job, it will be creating 3 messages. It will be creating 3 messages. Just message log, just JCL, just system message. So how these messages, what are these messages are there? How these messages and statements need to be displayed in spool? What statements should be displayed? What messages should be displayed? Not to be displayed? Everything will be depending on this message level. If you don't want all the messages, okay, if you don't want all the messages, only few messages you want, okay, that will be decided by this message level. That can be decided by this. You can give by giving this message level. So message level will be taking 2 parameters. It will be, one is statements parameter and messages parameter. The statements, inside the statements parameter, you can write 0, 1, 2. Okay, and inside the messages parameter, you can write 0 and 1. So what is the statements? What happens when I give 0, 1, 2? So okay, if I write 0 or 1 or 2, okay, this will be affecting the just JCL. Okay, if I write the statements 0, 1 or 2, based on the number I have given, that will be affecting the just JCL in the spool for a job. Okay, whatever the job that I'm going to submit, if I give the message level as 0, 1 or 2, that will be affecting the just JCL in the spool. Okay, if I give 0, what will happen? If I give 0, the just JCL will be displaying, the just JCL will be, the just JCL will be displaying only the job card. Only the job card. Sorry, only the, yeah, the only the job card will be displayed. So let us see that. Let us see that. So I'll give that message level equals to 0. Let me see that. Save it. I'm submitting it. This one submitted. JCL error. Let me go to spool. Okay. Let me open the latest job. This is the latest job. Question mark. Yes. Let's go to the just JCL. Yes, I'm giving. Enter. Should print only job card. Let me give this. Yeah. So now this job has been successfully submitted, right? This job has been successfully submitted. If I go to spool, if I go to spool and open the latest job, if I go to spool and open the latest job, okay. Now if I go to the just JCL, it will be printing only the job card here. It will be printing only the job card here. So what is the reason for it? I have given the message level as in the statements. I have said that in the statements I have said that I need only the job card. If you give 0, that means it will be printing in the just JCL. It will be displaying only the job card. It will be displaying only the job card. It will be displaying. If I give 1 here, okay. If I give 1 here, it will be displaying all the statements along with the cataloged procedures. It will be displaying all the statements along with the cataloged procedure. Okay, what is this catalog procedure? We'll discuss at later point, not now. Okay, so whenever there is a cataloged procedure, whenever there is a cataloged procedure in your job card, in your job there is a cataloged procedure, then that cataloged procedures also will be displayed over this. Okay, that cataloged procedures also will be displayed in the just JCL. Let me show that. Let me, for example, I'll show it. Okay, let me give it here. Just JCL, save it, submit it. Will not display anything now. There are no catalog procedures we have written. So I'm going to spool, opening the latest job with question mark, opening the just JCL with yes. Okay, since I have given 1 here, so it is displaying the entire job. If there are catalog statements also, those also will be displayed in this job card. Okay, we'll see that catalog procedure when we are discussing catalog procedure. Okay, so whenever we are giving catalog procedures, that also will be displayed inside the job itself. Here itself, it will be concatenating. Like catalog procedures are nothing but the procedure which is called outside of the some set of statements which are written outside of the member, and those are copied here. Okay, so we'll understand when we write the catalog procedures. If I don't give if I give 2 here, okay, if I give in the statements 2, if I give it, if I give 2 in the statements parameter, only the input JCL will be displayed. Only the input JCL will be printed. Okay, whether if you write the catalog procedures or not, only whatever the job that you have given, only this job will be printed. Only this job as it is, it will be printed. Whatever you have written in this job, that only will be printed as it is. It won't print other than that. It won't print other than that. Even though catalog procedures are there, it won't be printing that. Okay, so let us see this. What is the statements? Like we have discussed the statements, right? What is the what is this messages? What happens when we give messages? So this will be like this statement is affecting the just JCL. This messages will be affecting the just system message. Just system message. It will be affecting the just system message. So in this we can give only 2 values, which will be 0 and 1. We can give only 0 and 1. Okay, what is the 0? What is the 0? It will print the messages. It will print the messages. It will print the messages only when the job is terminated. When the job is terminated abnormally. Okay, whenever the job is terminating abnormally, then only this messages will be printed in just system message. Then only the messages will be printed. If the job doesn't terminate abnormally, okay, if the job is terminating abnormally, then only the messages will be printed. Let us see that. Let me give this 0 here. Let me give the 0 here, and let us create a new one. I'll say that a new file without any errors. I'll give it, saving it, submitting it, submitted. Max is 0. Let us go to spool F9. Open the latest job. Let's give enter. Open the latest job. It's been come here. Question mark. I'll give the question mark to open it. Okay. So if you open this just system message, there are no messages like previously. There are no messages. Just stuff was executed. That's it. Okay. Stuff was executed. Other than that, we can't see any other messages related to the job. Okay. We can't see any other messages like this was executed and how many hours, how many minutes. That's it. It is there. No detailed description that is available here. No detailed description that was available. Whenever you give 0, it will print only the messages when the job is terminated abnormally. So for example, if I terminate the job abnormally, okay, if I terminate the job abnormally, let us give this syntax error. Okay, it has created something. Let me save it. Let me submit this one. Okay, it is throwing me some error. It is throwing me some error. If I go to spool, if I come back, open the latest job, open the latest job. Okay, now it is showing that whatever the errors that are there, it is showing everything. It is showing the every messages. Let me check it in another way. Let us write it in another way. Job, I'll say. TSO, I'll say, I'll write it same way. Write it in the same way. Let me save it. So this data set is already there. If I submit this one, it will lead to JCL error again. It will lead to JCL error. Let us come back and open the latest job. Go to the just system message. Now you can see that a detailed messages are there. Okay, only if the job is successfully executed. Only if the job is successfully executed, it won't give you any messages. If the job is successfully executed, it won't give you any messages. If the job is not successfully executed, it was terminated abnormally, then only these messages will be displayed. Then only it will print the messages when the job is terminated abnormally. Okay, so let us see the difference. This was abnormally executed. Let us give the same way. I'll give 1 here. Okay, I'll give 1 here. If I give 1 and save it, let me create 2 and submit this one. This was, I'm submitting it as it is, like this job doesn't have any errors. This job doesn't have any errors. Okay, max is 0. If I go to spool, come back, open the latest job, open the latest message. So previously also we have given, the job when we have given 0 and the job is successfully executed, these all messages are not there. These allocation messages are not there, right? These allocation messages are not there. So let me show that. Let me show that with another example. So I'll say that 0 again here, 0 again here, 0 again here. This also will be successfully executed. This also will be successfully executed. Let us compare the difference between the both of them. Submitting it. Let us go to new spool, SDST, come down, open the latest job, open the just system message. Now you can observe this, the difference between this job and this job and this job. Okay, let me come out of this one. Yeah, this is a 0 1. We have given 0 here. So if you see the job, so in this job we have given 0. In this job we have given 0. In this job we have given 0. And if you see that, if you verify that just message log, even though the job has been successfully executed, it is not showing any messages. It is not showing any messages. But when you come back here, it is showing messages. When you give 1 here, so I have given 1 here. So whether the job might be terminated abnormally or normally, the job is displaying all the messages when you give 1. Okay. So when you give 1 here, it will print the messages. Print the messages even though the job terminates normally or abnormally. Okay, even though the job terminates normally or abnormally, when you give 1 in the messages field, it will print all the messages. If you give 0, it will print only messages only when the job terminates abnormally. Okay, the job terminates abnormally. This is what the message level means. Okay, now let's come to the next topic. Okay, understood? Sai Kumar, understood, right?
Yes, Adesh.
Yes. Okay, now let's see the type run. Okay, now let's see the type run. Okay, this is also a keyword parameter in job card. Keyword parameter in the job card. Okay, it defines, like, what is the meaning of this? It defines or tells how or where the job has to stop. Where the job has to stop its execution. Will say that this type run is nothing but, it will say where the job or how the job has to stop its execution, where the job has to stop its execution will be set by this type run. So let us see that what are the different types that are there. There are two different types in type run. One is type run equals to scan. Type run equals to scan. One is type run equals to scan. Other one is type run equals to hold. Okay, type run equals to scan and type run equals to hold. What is this type run equals to scan? Like I said, it will be every job that we submit, it will be having these syntaxes, these phases, right? Okay, these are the phases that will be having, like input phase, conversion phase, execution phase, output phase, and purge phase. So if I give type run equals to scan, okay, if I give type run equals to scan, the job will be only checking the syntax errors and it will be printing it. It won't go to the execution stage. The job won't be executing. Okay, when I give type run equals to scan, when I give type run equals to scan, it will only check whether the syntax errors are there or not. Okay, it will check only the whether the syntax errors are there or not. So whenever you give type run equals to scan, it will only check whether there are any syntax errors there are there, whether there are any syntax errors are there or not. It will check. That's it. It won't execute it. It won't be executing the job. It will not execute the job. It will not execute the job. That means if I execute the job, that means if I create, like if I'm trying to create any JCL IB genre, if I'm trying to create any IB genre, let us see that. Let me create an IB genre. IFBR 14, sorry. IFBR 14. Let us see the IFBR 14. Let me delete all this. Hanging, it is hanging, just a moment. Yeah, enter. So let us open the jcl.demos. So let me write it here. So now I'll say what I'll say, type run equals to type run equals to scan I'll give. So let us see what will happen. If I save it, I'll save it. Reset, I'm giving the reset option. I'll just submit this one. Job is submitted. Okay, the job has been submitted. Okay, now let's go to spool. Let's go to spool, start SDST, start space SDST, colon space. Now open the latest job. Let us open the latest job. Question mark. So the job has been executed. That's it. It didn't execute. That job has been submitted and it checked the whether there are any errors or not. If you go to the DS list, if you go to the DS list 3.4, if you go to DS list and check whether the job, whatever we are going to, whatever we are trying to create, whether it is created or not, you can't see the data set. Okay, you can't see the data set. So you can't see the data set. Let me where is it? If you see this, yeah, so we are trying to create this one, right? We are trying to create a, what is the file name, what is the dsn file name we are trying to create? New.3 we have created, we are trying to create it, but we can't see any new.3 here, new3 here. Okay, we can't see any new3 here because we haven't given, it will just check the scan. We have written the type run equals to scan, that will check only whether there are any errors or not. If there are no errors or whether there are any errors, it will just print the errors. It won't execute the job. It won't execute the job. So let us remove the type scan. Let us remove the type run equals to scan and execute it once again. Let us remove this type run equals to scan and execute it once again. If I execute it, submit, the maxes is 0. If you come out of it and refresh, if I give refresh, what will happen? I'll get the new data set. Okay, I'll get the new data set. This is the normal procedure. But if you give type run equals to scan, that will execute it. That will not execute it. It will not create the data set. Okay, it will not create the data set, but it will check only the messages are there, or any errors are there or not. Okay, it will check only the whether any errors are there or not. That's it. What if there are some errors? Okay, what if there are some errors? Let us put some errors in that. Let us put some errors in this and write the type run equals to scan, comma type run equals to scan, I'll say, and I'll give some error here. Let us save and submit it. JCL error, it is saying that JCL error start spool, start SD, ST, start SD, ST. I'll open the latest job, Open the latest job. So you can see the messages now. You can see the messages. What are the messages that are there? Since it is having a message, like it is having some errors, it is showing the errors. If it doesn't have any errors, it won't show any errors. Okay, this is what type run equals to scan. What is type run equals to hold? Okay, what is type run equals to hold? What is the next one? Okay, the type run equals to, when you give type run equals to hold, okay, when you give type run equals to hold, it will hold the job. It will hold the job in input level itself. It will hold the job in input phase itself. It won't even go to the syntax error also. It won't even go to the conversion stage also. It will hold the job in. It will keep the job in input stage itself, input level itself. So what it will do in input level, it will just create a job ID and it will just create, that's it. It will just create the job ID and it will hold it like that. Let me submit this one. Okay, I have submitted it. Okay, let us give some not errors. Let us not give any errors. New 3, I'll give it. Let me save it. Let me submit this one. So I have submitted the job. I have just submitted the job. Let us go to spool. F9. Open the latest job. Let us open the latest job. Let us. If you check here you can see that. Let me purge all these jobs. Okay, let me purge first. What I'm doing, I'm just purging all the jobs. I'm deleting all the jobs. That's it. Okay. So what you can see it here, the job is in hold stage. Okay. You can see the status of the job. It is in hold stage. Okay. If you just go back here, let us submit this job once again. I've submitted the job. Okay. It created the job ID 12938. And if you go to spool and check it, okay, if I just go to spool and check it, here you can see that 12938, it was kept on hold. The status is hold. So what it is doing, it is just created the job ID. It has just created the job ID and it put the job on hold. So to move it to the input stage, you just need to execute the job once again by removing the hold. Submit it. 139. Spool. If you go to spool, you'll get the latest job. You need to remove it. So just remove this one, the purge it. Just purge it. You'll get the desired job. You'll get the desired job. So this is how you can manage. This is how you can take care of the jobs. Type run equals to scan and type run equals to hold. This is how you can give the type run equals to scan and type run equals to hold. Okay, this is what message levels are. This is what message levels are. We have discussed message levels, type run we have discussed, and then understood, Sai Kumar, till now whatever we have discussed.
Yeah, Satish.
Yeah.
Yes, I can
Any doubt?
understand.
Any doubts?
Uh, no, can you explain once again the catalog procedure that?
Catalog procedures. This zeros one is there now. This one.
Uh,
This one is displays. It will display all the catalog. Let me give you an example. We haven't come to this catalog procedure, but let me give that example. It's new catalog. I'll say cat. So what I'm doing here, I'm giving a catalog procedure. This in detail we'll discuss later point. Okay, this is just a catalog procedure. I'm just giving a just for your understanding. I'm giving it. So let me add that catalog procedure inside this, or else let me save this. Let me cut it. I'll say here after paste it. So let me call this repeater.
Satish, give me a minute. I'll come. Huh?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, Satish.
Yeah. So see, I have written for a sample. I have written one in-stream procedure itself. Or a procedure I have written. Okay. Here I have written a procedure. This is called procedure, proc and pend. We will discuss in detail at later point. Okay. So what I'm doing here, I'm calling this procedure here. I'm calling this procedure here inside this step. Okay. Let us submit this job. Let us save it and let us submit this job. So message level I have given two. Message level I have given two. First we'll see the message level for two. Okay. So if we check there, if we check If I give message level 2 and submit this job, okay, if I give message level and submit this job, if you go to spool and check the latest job, open the latest job and you check it, whatever the job that you have submitted, that will be there in this JSL. Whatever the job, exactly whatever it is written, that only will be there. Okay, whatever the job that has been written there, exactly that only will be there. But if you give one here, okay, if you give one here in the message level in the first one, if you give one and if you save it and submit this one, F9, go to the F9, open the latest job, you can see here this catalog procedure, or this procedure, whatever the procedure is there, that has been substituted here. Okay, this procedure has been substituted. That whatever we have submitted, that is not the same one. Whatever that we have written there, that is not the same this one, right? Am I right, Sai Kumar?
Yeah, Satish, but you stopped over there, right? You have given the cat append.
Yeah.
It means
These
that
three lines are
it means the
these
job
three
has
lines
been
are
stopped over there. And
The-
how it has been executed again?
what I didn't get you. See,
You have submitted with the cat proc and you have just stopped the job cat pen with the cat pen.
uh,
It means the catalog procedure was stopped over there.
no. Don't like see. Understand. Don't go into the catalog procedure. Okay, don't go into the catalog procedure. That is a different concept. I'm saying that whenever you give one here, the procedure will be substituted here. If you are calling this catalog procedure, in the just JCL, it will be substituting this catalog procedure. Okay, this proc will be coming and displayed here. The step will be executed, come and displayed here. Those two will be displayed here. If you give one here, if you give two here, I'll go to the last second job. We have given two, right? We have given two for that. Here, it didn't get substituted. These three lines or two lines, it didn't get substituted here after this. That is the difference between these both two. If you are giving one, all the catalog procedure statements will be catalog or in-stream procedures will be substituted whenever they are called. Okay, whenever they are called, they will be substituted and it will be printing as it. But when it comes to two, it won't. Whatever the job that you have given, exactly that job only will be printed. Understand this itself. Don't go in depth into the catalog and stream. We'll come back to the later point. Later we'll discuss about those. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now today we'll wind up with one more topic. IEB general will discuss. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Rename demo 2. I'll give it. Refresh it. Rename demo 1. I'll give it. Refresh it. Demo 2 will execute it. Demo 2 will see. PD. Okay. So till now, what are the utilities we have discussed? We have discussed only one utility, which is IEFBR 14, right? IEFBR 14 utility discuss. We discuss.
Yes.
What is the use of this IEFBR 14? It will get manually. We will go and create the PS file.
Okay.
Right.
Not only PSA,
Okay.
PDS also, right?
PS also it can create.
Mm.
Let me show how to create a PDS. So I'll say that comma one I'll give it. So for PDS you need to give one because it is for directory blocks. Okay, this is for directory blocks. Okay, so this one will be having like for PDS it will be directory blocks will be greater than 0, right? So we have given that 0. Sorry, we have given that 1. So let me give this 9. I'll submit. Let me give this 9 9. Okay, let me save it and submit this one. Axis is 0. If you come out of it, mm, that's 3. Yeah, if you come out of this job, if you go refresh here, refresh, you can see this 9 9. Okay, this is a PDS. This is a PDS. So if you open it, if you try to open it, if you try to open this 9 9, it will say that there are no members. That means it is a PDS. It is a PDS. Okay, let us come back. Let us go to the demo 2. Let us go to the demo. Yes, space demo 3. I'll create. Okay, let us give reset. Let us copy demo 01. Demo 01 I'll copy. Let me reset it. So here, let me delete all this remaining stuff. Okay, today now after this now we'll discuss about the IEB second utility. So till now we have discussed only one utility, that is IEB 14. So now we'll discuss the IEB Jenner utility. IEB Jenner utility. What is this IEB Jenner utility? So this utility like IEB 14 creates and manually creates the data. This IEB Jenner will copy the data from one data set to other data set, one data set to another data set. Okay, so what one PS file, that means one PS file to another PS file, PS to PS. Okay, not PDS to PDS, it is PS just to PS to PS file. Okay, whenever you want to copy data from one PS to another PS, this IEB journal will be used. So it will be having 4 parameters. Okay, for IEB 14, what are the 4 parameters that we have written? IEB 14, DSN in the DD statement. In the DD statement, this is the only DD parameter only will be there. Okay, for IEB 14, only DD parameter will be there. DD1, you can give it anything. DD1 parameter only will be there. But when it comes to IB Jenner, it will be having 4 parameters. Okay, so how to write it? We'll write it here itself. Delete it. So IEB Jenner, IEB Jenner. So IEB Jenner. Let me delete all this. Okay, let us reset, save it. Yeah, now let's write the step 1. Let us write the IEB Jenner set. This is a IEB Jenner utility. Yeah, let us write the IB Jenner utility. So whenever you're writing this IB Jenner utility, okay, whenever you're going to write this IB Jenner utility, it will be having 4 parameters. Like I said, the first parameter will be sysut1. Okay, second parameter will be sysut2. Third parameter will be sysin. The fourth parameter will be sysprint. So these are the 4 parameters that will be coming into this IB Jenner. Okay, IB Jenner will be, just a moment, they are messaging me. They're messaging. Okay, so let us create this. These are the four parameters will be there. Okay, these are the four parameters that will be there. What are these four parameters? Let us discuss in detail. Sorry, let us discuss all this. The first one will be sysut1, sysut1, sysut2, sysin, sysprint. Okay, these are the four parameters. Let us discuss one by one. So the sysut1, like I said, we will be copying data from one data set to another data set, right? Right? The sysut1 will be having the source of the data set, the source details, the source details of the data set, the source details of the data set. The second where sysut2 will be having the destination PS details, the destination details of the data set. Okay, the sysin parameter will be having control cards, the control parameters, the control cards will be there in this, and the sysprint will be having where the messages need to be printed, where the IB genre, this utility, whatever the messages this produce. Okay, if the this whatever this is, this IB genre we are executing it. Okay, it will be producing some messages, right? That will be where it has to go, where the messages has to go will be given in this messages has to go will be given in this sprint. So what is this message level? Like here we have given message class 8, right? Message class 8. So it will be destination. It will be going to some spool or somewhere. Likewise, where this sprint, whatever the IB genre we are executing, if it leads to an error, if it leads to a successful execution, all this messages where it has to go, whether it has to go to spool or somewhere, that will be given in this sprint. So let us write the sysut1. So coming to the sysut1, it will be written as a DD statement. It will be written as a DD statement. Reset. Let me give reset. Yeah, DD statement. DSN name. So whenever you are giving a data set name, the source will be given is a data set, right? The source is a data set, right? So DSN is nothing but data set name. Okay. So I'll say that txoxa13 dot dataset dot one. Okay, dataset dot one. I'll say this is my source. So this is my source from this, whatever the data that is there in this dataset dot one. Okay, I want to copy it to dataset.2. I want to copy it to dataset dsn1 equals dsn equals to tsoxa13 dot dataset dot 2. I want to move some data into this 2 parameter. Let us say 2. And here I'll say disposition equals to disposition. What is this disposition in the sense? How you want to, whether it is the new one or whether it is the old one, you are sharing it, whether it is the old one or new one, you have to give it here. So it is an old one since it is already there. So that's why I'm able to copy it here. So I'll say that copy it from the old one, which is the old one. Okay. And this is also old one. You can say it as old or new or anything. You can say old. I'll say here. And sysin I'll give DD statement. Right now, whenever you create whenever you're using IB genre, the sysin will be dummy itself. So we won't be giving any control statements when it comes to sysin. And when it comes to DD statement, I'll say that sysout equals to star. Sysout equals to star. So what will happen? This will make the messages go to spool. This will make the messages go to spool. Whatever the message class that is there, it will also go there itself. It will also go to there itself. Okay, let me save it. First, we'll create this data sets. Okay, 1 and 2 will create the data sets. We don't have the 1 and 2 data sets. Let us create them. So 1 is already there. So let us create the data set 2. Let's create the data set 2, TWO2. Let us submit this one. Access is 0. Now I have the data set 1 and 2. Let me refresh it. If I give refresh here, okay, yeah. So I'm giving refresh here. I'm giving the refresh here. So I have the PDS like dataset 1 and I have the dataset 2 also. Okay, let me rename it. Okay, I have the dataset 1 and dataset 2. Let me write some data inside this dataset 1. So it is already there. The dataset 1 has already some data. Now let us copy the data into this dataset 2. Dataset 2 doesn't have, okay, it is PDS, it has been created. Let me create a data set. Let me create a data set. I can submit it by here also. JA, I'll say maxc 2, refresh, rename it to okay. If you check it here, if you check this dataset.2, it doesn't have any data. Let us copy some data from dataset.2, dataset.1 to dataset.2 will copy it using a IB genre. Let us do it that. So if I go to spool, if I go to the here, let us open the IB genre here. Okay, IEB genre I have given, DSN I have given, dataset 2 I have given. So let us submit this one, whether it will throw any error or not, we'll see. So maxis is 0 I got, that means it got successfully executed. If you go back and check it here, if you go back and check this dataset.2, you will be able to see the data that is there. You will be able to see the data. Whatever it is there in the dataset.1, the dataset.2 also has the same data. Okay, this is how you can create. This is how you can copy the data from one data set to another data set. This is how you can copy the data from one data set to another data set. Let us see few more examples. Okay, let us see few more examples. Okay, let us create another data set. Demo.4 will create, demo04 will create. Okay, copy demo3, copy demo3. So here I'm creating new, I'm using the old one, right? I'm using the old one. What if I want to create a new one in the destination? Okay, what if I want to create a new one in the destination? Then you have to make use of the IEFBR 14 utilities. Okay, you need to make use of however you are going to write it. In the same way, you have to write it here. Okay, let me remove this disposition here, and let me add it here. Okay, disposition equals to, if it is not existing, then you can say that new comma catalog comma delete comma enter space equals to L record length, no, space equals to tracks comma 1 comma 1 comma 1 close bracket close comma again slash disposition equals to DCB parameters equals to L record length equals to 80, record format equals to FB. Okay, block size will be 800. Okay, block size will be 800. If I save it, okay, this is already there. Dataset 2 is already there. So I have to create a new one. I'll say dataset 3, comma. Let me save it. Let me save it and submit this one. So maxis is 0. So if I go back and check, so it will create a new one. It will create a new one and it will copy the data set. Here it has created a new one and then it has copied the data. It has created a new one and it has copied the data. So this is how you can copy the data. This is how you can copy the data manually. If you can copy the data using that using the code, using the IB genre, you can copy data from one data set to another data set. Okay, there are multiple sort of examples, still we have multiple examples. Let me tell that examples also. Okay, here I have given a old data set I'm using. I'm using an old data set and I'm copying it to the new one. Let us create in-stream data. We can copy the data using in-stream data also. Manually also you can type it here and you can copy the data. You don't have to get it from the source. You don't have to get it from the different data set. Okay, you don't have to get it from the different data set. You can also insert the data manually also. This is my in-stream data. Okay. Yeah. So let me, I'm saying that I'm giving the in-stream data and I'll give the 4 here. Let me save it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm giving it as an in-stream data. See, previously we have declared the data set name. Okay, now I'm giving the, in spite of the source, I'm manually I'm giving the data. This has in-stream data. Okay, let us have submitted the job. It has given max is 0. So refresh it. Let me refresh it. So you'll get a max like data set 4. If you open it, you can see that this is my in-stream data. So this is how you can give it in multiple ways. Okay, you can also give it in, if you want to go to spool, if you want to check it, you don't want to send this data into, I'm giving it into a data set, right? You can also give it in multiple ways also. You can also give it as sysout equals to star. Then it will go to spool directly. Okay, it will go to spool directly. Let me delete all this. D3. So this is what will happen. The source I'm giving it as in-stream data, which is manually I'm giving, and the destination I'm saying it as I want it to do to spool. So what will happen now? Save it, reset, save it, and submit this one. Max is 0. If you go to spool and check, open the latest job. You can see the sysout. It's sysut2. You can see it here. This is my in-stream data. Okay. So whenever you're submitting this IB general job, it will be generating sysut1. Whatever the output steps you give, that will be generated, and sysprint also will be generated. This sysprint is nothing but
Satish,
yeah.
What is this in-stream data actually? I didn't get your point.
Okay. See, now normally, previously, what did we do? Refresh it. In the data set, whenever we are using this IB genre, we have given the data manually from a data set to data set we are copying, right? From one data set to another data set we are copying. But I don't want to use this data set. Don't want to get the data from the data set. I want to enter the data manually. Okay, I want to enter the data manually, so that you can enter the data manually like this. You can enter it as an in-stream data. This is called in-stream data. So what will happen? So normally you will write dsn equals to like this. So you don't want to get the data from the data set. You want to give it manually, then you can use star, and this data will be copied. Okay, whatever the data that is there, that will be copied into the data set. Whatever the destination that you give it, in that it will be copied. Okay, so this is the end of the line. Slash and star will be the end of the in-stream data. It defines as end of the in-stream data. Okay, so whenever you execute this job, whenever you execute this IB genre, like I said, this sysprint will be displaying the messages of all this IB genre, right? So that you can see it here. Okay, there is one warning like that. Whatever the errors that are there, that you'll be getting it in this sysprint will be there in the spool. Okay, there are multiple ways. You can copy the in-stream data to spool, copy the in-stream data to destination. Okay, in multiple ways you can do it. Try it. Okay, so that's it from IB genre.